How's it going, everyone? Livid here with a comprehensive guide on every single new item and emote that was introduced in the hardcore update and how to get them. So as usual, let's just jump straight into it. Now, with the hardcore update, Gunfire Games introduced 1 new necklace and 5 new ring items to get in total. These rings are exclusive to the hardcore mode, meaning if you want to get your hands on them, you have to fully complete a hardcore run to snag them all. Good news though, whatever account bound items you get while on hardcore will become available to your other non-hardcore characters. So if your hardcore character meets an untimely demise, you will still retain those special loot drops that you've achieved. In order to get the necklace, the Nightmare Spiral, you will need to beat the final boss, Nightmare, on hardcore difficulty. This will make all of your ranged hits steal 4.5% of the base damage dealt as health back to the user. The trade-off, however, is all consumables, meaning Dragon Hearts and Bloodwort potions, will have their effectiveness reduced by 95%. This is super cool for a ranged lifesteal build, just don't get into any hairy situation and expect to Dragon Heart yourself to safety. Of the 5 rings, 4 of them are found from world bosses, meaning there is 1 for Earth, Rom, Yeesha, and Corsus. Beating either the Ent or Singe on Earth on hardcore will reward you with the Provisioner Ring. This ring will enable any stowed weapon that isn't fully reloaded to gradually reload over time. It's an interesting ring, but I'm not entirely sure how useful it really is when taking up that valuable ring slot. Beating either the HARROW or CLAVIGER on ROM on hardcore will reward you with the Akari Warband. Now this one is super good. When perfect dodging an enemy attack, you will increase your crit chance by 15% and crit damage by 30% for 7 seconds. This applies to all ranged and melee weapons, and is a noticeable increase to your overall DPS. Beating either the Ravager or the Totem Father on Yeesha on hardcore will reward you with the Ring of Supremacy. As long as you are at full health for at least 5 seconds, you will be granted a flat 25% to all damage dealt. This applies to everything: weapons, mods, melees, you name it. An important note here, if you do get the Ravager, do not do the bell puzzle to bypass him. It will not grant you any of the loot drops for hardcore if you do. And lastly, beating IXILLIS on Corsus on hardcore will grant you the Empowering Loot. By sacrificing 20% of your reload speed, you are granted a flat 30% range damage increase. This ring I have played with, and it sees the most benefit on high crit chance one-shot builds, with things like the Hunting Pistol and Crossbow. Now the last and final ring is achieved from an entirely different method. You must high-five another player with a high-five emote to be granted the Band of Accord, which will make all ammo you acquire increase in amount by 15%, and will also be shared to other players. This is a pretty solid ring for a support-heavy player and build. Now in order to get the high-five emote, essentially every single world boss in the game will drop you a unique emote upon death. These emotes, from the testing I've done so far, can be collected on a normal playthrough. The only ones that may be an exception are the Praise the Gun emote or the High Five emote. These may need to be gotten on hardcore as a final boss drop, but I'm not sure because we achieved these while playing on hardcore. Now, I'm also going to do a mini showcase of every single emote in the game with a little blurb about which boss drops it in case you are hunting for a specific emote.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh yeah!
And that's it, everyone. Overall, I found this hardcore update amazingly fun with friends and even solo, even if death means a complete restart of an hours-long run. I want to thank everyone for dropping by, and be sure to check back here for all your Remnant content needs. And remember, I hope you all have a wonderful day.